We're out on the road today and my brakes are pretty low. We need to change them. So here we go. We're going to show you a whole ordeal how to change your brakes on the road.
Yep, we're going to do the rear brakes and show you how we do it full-time motorcycle traveling. These are the parts and the tools that we'll need to replace the rear brake pads on our G650GS. These are the pads from BMW. We also have wrenches to remove the rear wheel. We have a 24mm and a 19mm, and that's going to remove the wheel hub so we can get the tire and wheel off. In addition to that, we also have a torque driver, which I'll be using a 40mm and a 30mm to remove some of the things that we need to get to remove the wheel. We also have a punch, which I'll be using to drive the pin out of the brake pad assembly, and a hammer to help drive that pin in. We also have this, which we'll use to check the chain tension after we put everything back together. So these are all the parts that we need. First, we have to take the wheel off, the wheel and tire. We'll just do that by loosening that bolt. And that's basically it. Okay, on this particular bike, it has an ABS sensor, so we're going to remove it using the 30mm Torx, and that'll ensure that the sensor doesn't get damaged while you're playing around with the tire. I'll put the bolt back in here so we don't lose it. So now we're going to adjust the chain tension so that we have maximum chain, so I can get the chain off the teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're doing the same thing on the chain drive side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For our bike, about 10 is enough to clear the chain off of the sprocket. Now we're going to remove the hub that goes through the tire and the wheel. Just make sure you catch all the parts. Support it. Usually I support it with my foot so it doesn't fall. And then pull it out. And we have a little plastic bag, or you can just find some paper lying somewhere and put it on there so that you don't get it all dirty. And now we're going to pull off the rear wheel.
I think you've done about enough. I think I need to do the rest of my bike.
Okay.
It is mine, so.
It is your bike.
Okay, we're gonna remove the brake assembly off the swing arm. Okay, so now we can work on it. Okay, we're gonna remove this holding pin. All it is a little clip and it just pulls right off, see? There you go. Okay, I'm taking this punch and we're gonna put this through there so I can remove the pin that holds the brake pads on. Oh, there it comes.
Very nice.
There you go, and remove those old nasty pads. They're really thin.
And here's a comparison between the pads. You can see the old pad, which you still had a decent amount, not too much, but it's definitely not as good as a new pad. I wouldn't say it was that bad.
You don't think so? I was scared to use it.
But before we push the brake piston, we need to make sure we remove the cap so that we have excess level so the fluid can come back up once we push the piston in. And we'll watch to make sure the fluid doesn't spill out the top. So we're just gonna hand push the piston in. The rear brakes are not so big that you can't do that. And then watch that level. So when you push in on the piston, it's going to raise the fluid level in this brake reservoir. So we'll use a clean rag to absorb some of it. And then we'll just toss that into the trash. There you go. just like that.
Okay, we're gonna put the new brake pads back in and reinsert the pin. Now we're taking the punch and we're putting the pin back in. Okay, we're putting the pin back in, and the pin side here is going to face me. Okay, we're in. Okay, reattach the brake assembly back onto the swing arm. So you can use something like this tire iron to open up and make sure it's wide enough for your brake rotor to fit through. Beautiful. This is the tricky part. We got to put that rod back through.
Yeah, sometimes it's helpful to have two people sometimes. All right, I've got the rod and we've kept it clean. I'm gonna help push it through. Up a little bit. There you go, almost. There it's in. Check that other side. Out through. Beautiful.
Oh, how'd that happen so easy?
Alright, one final check of the level. We did have to take a little bit off with the dry rag, but then we'll put this back.
Okay, now we're going to put the chain back on the sprocket. There, we got it. Awesome, awesome. We're taking the 40mm Torx and we're going to readjust it back to the same tension that it was before we took it off the bike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now we're going to check the tension. So we've put some marks on our tire iron. We have a tire iron for Chantil's bike. We have a tire iron for my bike. And see these little marks? That determines the range at where the chain tension needs to be. So we're going to check that now.
Beautiful intention. Okay, we're checking the chain tightness indicators to see they're the same on both sides. Okay, we're going to push the tire all the way forward and then tighten our hub. Okay, we're going to put the ABS sensor back together. Take this 30mm Torx and finish that off. Just not very tight, but firm. Okay, one last step. If you forget to do this one, you might have a pretty spooky surprise when you get back on the bike. That's pumping the brakes.
And then we'll do one last check, make sure the level's good, which looks great. And then we'll go through and just do a quality assurance to make sure we didn't forget anything. After all, they are your brakes.
All right, we're checking it, make sure that it doesn't rub on anything down through here. Everything's connected and secure. Everything we loosened, make sure they're retightened again. Okay, I think we're done.
So that's pretty much it. That's how you do a rear brake job while you're riding around full time and not going to the dealer. Total cost was just the cost of the brake pads and probably 45 minutes. That's about it. You can pretty much do brake pads anywhere. Like, we're in an open field right here just doing them.
Thanks for watching our video. If you like our channel, please consider visiting our Patreon page and checking out the benefits we provide our supporters.
The Patreon link is in the description below.